everyone, my name is Jess, and honestly, why would you ever go outside when you could spend a day indoors? Because that's how I'm gonna be spending the next 3 months of my life. Because it's the most wonderful time of the year. Big Brother 27. I have been waiting for this since Big Brother 26 ended. We're back, baby. We're so fucking back. Big Brother 27 finally premiered Thursday night, and I am so excited to talk about this. I love Big Brother so bad. And this season, we've had one episode, and I'm already really excited for this season, which is not easy to say because sometimes these seasons, oh boy, but I can't believe we're there's some. I just want to get this out of the way. I'm so excited to see Rachel Riley. That's like the main thing. I'm like, oh, well, you gotta talk about the premiere, but I have to talk about Rachel Riley. I cannot believe we're actually getting Rachel Riley as a full house guest. I really truly believed that we were just gonna get her for like 2 days, and they were gonna be like, and she's been murdered for this murder mystery puzzle. Figure it out, my Rachel. But she's here. She's actually here. I'm so excited. Oh, we're actually gonna get Rachel Riley on feeds. She's been on feeds, obviously, but I was not there when she was on feeds. I didn't start watching till Big Brother 14, and even then, I was 13 years old, and I did not have money at 13 to buy feeds, so I was not tuning in. But we're gonna get her on feeds whenever they feel like turning the feeds on, which could be whenever Sunday night, Monday morning for me. Great, thanks. Missing all this Rachel Riley prime time, but still, regardless, I'm excited. And I genuinely, beyond just Rachel Riley, I am actually very excited for the theme and the twist this year, which is rare because sometimes CBS cooks up some twists, some themes, and I'm like, okay, that's what we're going with. Sure, why not? But I love a good murder mystery, clue theme. I love the house. The house is gorgeous. That house is stunning. If I walked in and saw that, I'd be like, we're cooking. We're this is gonna be great. But I am genuinely excited for everything they showed on the premiere. I love most of this cast. Most of this cast. Some of you, one of you, you know who you are. Well, they don't, but they should. They will. But I'm just really excited to get into this season. We've only had the one episode. I wish we had the back-to-back tonight premiere so we can get a little more from them, and so we can get the feeds. But I'm happy regardless for now. If I pretend the feeds aren't happening. But I am really excited to talk about this premiere. I think this is gonna be a good season. I know some people were not the most happy with Rachel joining in. I know we've had some seasons in the past with when returnees come, especially when it's just one returnee, where people, if you remember Big Brother 19 with Paul, nobody wants that again. I definitely don't. Living through that once was enough for me. I could live without that. But I think that it's going to be a good season regardless. It's with Paul. I mean, it's happened before. Jesse, Jason on OTT. Theirs were pretty back to back. Like, Jesse was on 10, he came back for 11. Paul, they were on 18, came back for 19. I can't remember, was OTT, was that after 19? But it was pretty close to when Jason played on 17. But Rachel hasn't been on Big Brother since season 13, into season 27. So it's been 15 years. So I think it's not, I mean, she's obviously a Big Brother legend, so people are going to be excited. Clearly they were on the episode. But I think it's not going to be as culty, especially because a lot of this cast are recruits, or at least new fans. They may not be as familiar with Rachel as someone would be. Like, if it was somebody from 26 that came in, like Tucker, that would probably be an issue, because I think they all at least watched last season. But the fact that it's somebody who hasn't played in 15 years, I think, obviously Rachel's going to be a totally different person. It's been 15 years. She was, what, 25, 26 last time she played? She's 40 years old now, a mother, married. She's not going to be identical to how she was back then. So it's going to be, I think, very different. Hopefully, as much as I love Rachel Riley, I really don't want BB19 2.0. But I'm going to stay optimistic. Especially with, we have the BB Blockbuster. Interesting name. It's fine. AI Arena coming back. we have this mastermind and its secret accomplice. I think this could be a really fun season, and I'm very, very excited. I always start Big Brother seasons off optimistic and excited, even though sometimes they go downhill, and you're like, by the end, you're like, get this over with. Come on. Please put me out of my misery. But that's okay. Sometimes, not every show's gonna have an amazing season. But I think this is gonna be a really good season. I'm so excited. So, I am very excited to get into this premiere. And I promise I won't talk about Rage Valley the entire time, even though she is my mother, thank you. But let us actually get into the premiere. A little bit. Because there are 16 other people to talk about, unfortunately. Fortunately. I'm just kidding. I do love most of this cast. But we move. So we get our lovely cast. Oh, look at them. They split them up into the two moving groups. We get their intro packages. The intro packages were mostly, the interviews. We get a lot from them. We find a lot from them online as well. Something that was interesting to me, Kelly. Her interview, she talked about traveling a lot. She didn't mention at all that she was the pilot. How'd you leave that out? You're the one flying the plane? I would have loved to know that. I thought that was really cool. Like, girl, you didn't talk about that at all. Just like, oh, I travel every state, 42 countries. You're the pilot. I would have talked about that more. I'd be like, I fly the plane. But it's fine. I do like this cast. I really think this is a great cast. I'm not gonna say who it is, Riley. No, I'm not gonna mention anybody. But it's fine. It's fine. We get the first move-in group. Well, the first 8 and then the first 4 move in, which is Zach, Adrian. I'm forgetting. I'm looking at my notes. Don't mind me. Amy and Kelly. Thank you. I was like blanking. Listen, I know Zach is a recruit. We found an Instagram comment from a casting agent, from the casting on his Instagram. He had to have at least watched last season. The way he just walked straight in, first one in, didn't even hesitate. Crazy. He didn't. I know he only watched last season, but he had to have remembered the Chelsea opening the door, holding it open so she would not be the first one in, and then the circle of Angela, Chemo, and Tucker just going like this because nobody wanted to be the first one in, and then Tucker just going in because he wanted to break the first curse. Why would you ever go in first? No hesitation, just open the door. Didn't even hold the door, mind you. Just swung the door open and went right in. Crazy. Good luck with that, sir. You're good. Good luck. But yeah, he's the first one in. The curse is on you. I'm so sorry. I know it's been broken technically from the celebrity seasons, but not with the main season, so good luck. And then we have our next moving group came in after them. I'm looking at my notes again because I forget. Keanu, Lauren, Ashley, and Riley. Cool. They're looking at the house. Great. And then we get the second batch. Once, we do their intro videos again, we get the rest of the house guests. Who comes in next? And I'm trying to remember all the moving groups. My notes are over here. Didn't want to put them over my screen because, hello, I need to see what I'm doing. But, there we go. Also, my handwriting's terrible, so it takes me a second. Mickey, Isaiah, Catherine, and Jimmy are the next group, and the final group coming in after that would be Vince, Morgan, Ava, and Will. I'm going to show you guys so you don't think I'm crazy. Look at how bad my handwriting is. So you're now like, wow, she can't read. Look at this. Chicken scratch. So I'm trying to read my own notes, and it's chicken scratch. I'm glad they were also loving the house, loving the rooms. I didn't realize as well, when they showed us the photos of the house, that they moved the door for the back room. The back room usually, it's like straight through in that hallway, and you just go, the door's here. But now you have to cut through the middle room to get to the door. And it's hidden. I didn't realize that. Interesting choice, but that's fine. And the have-not room is not downstairs and not upstairs. Cool. They didn't show us the have-not room. I really want to see the have-not room. I'm sure we'll see it on Sunday. But, they're like meeting everybody, looking at the house. The house is gorgeous. We're already starting to see some people. I know other people. Zach, already looking at Lauren. Lauren, mind you, probably could not care less about that man. As a super fan she is, she got the HOH robe. She couldn't care less. She's probably like, who? I'm in Big Brother. And then somebody who also is buying for the CBS merch store. I get it. I get it. Mickey, I do they do a vision test before they are put on this show? That's the only question I have to ask. Because she said Riley was Cowboy Brad Pitt. Are we looking at the same man? I'm trying to lean to my mic. Are we looking at the same person? When Riley's intro package came on, I live at home with my parents. Could you tell by my child's bedroom back here? I watch the show with my parents because they're also fans. And my mom, when Riley came up in the intro package, said, "Oh, there's the old guy of the season." I had to tell her he's 27. She's like, "He looks terrible." I'm like, "I'm so sorry." He's not old. Cowboy Brad Pitt is crazy. How long has she been sequestered? Has she seen other men? I mean, she's seen Keanu as well, which I see. Obviously, Keanu, looking great. Riley, Cowboy Brad Pitt, crazy. But it's fine. You know, everybody has different tastes. But anyways, we move. They're, looking around, meeting everybody. Here comes Julie. Hey, everybody. Come to the living room. She's welcoming them all in. Hey, guys. We're getting ready for its big brother. Welcome. Expect the unexpected. Lights go out. Everyone's like, what the hell? Why are we in the dark? Lights come back on. Julie's gone. And so is the mysterious HOH relic that she was like, did anybody notice the HOH relic on the table? I don't think anybody did. They're not going to know what that is. Oh, they know that's the HOH relic. But yeah, it looked cool. She's gone. One shoe on the stage. Caution tape missing. And the box is gone. Boop. It went in the dark. And then here comes our evil mastermind. Looking like Darth Maul. I took Julie. I took the relic. This season's not happening. Try and stop me if you dare. Boom. He's gone. Phone starts ringing by the reception desk. Who's that? Lauren picks that up. Julie's like, he got me. You gotta find me. So they are split into 8 groups based on this little bowl of maps that they pick up and open. 8 have to go find Julie. 8 have to go find the missing relics. So these are our first 2 comps, which I was nervous about when they started and Julie said we're going to get through 3 comps tonight. I was like, 3 competitions. Oh boy. But pleasantly surprised. They didn't drag them out. They were actually really equitable. Miracle. I know. For this show, it's a miracle. So competition number 1. Finding Julie. Saving Julie from the mastermind. I actually really liked this comp. It was a puzzle, but it wasn't only just a puzzle. So they had to, there was a long river of lava, and they each had their own little bridge. And they had to build the bridge as the puzzle to get across. Once they can get across, they then can go to 8 doors. I'm covering the camera. My apologies. 8 doors. I talk in my hands. And at each door, they have to listen to either real Julie or the mystery, deepfake Julie voice saying, "Oh no, I've been kidnapped. Good thing I was wearing my jacket because it's so cold." I have to figure out, what was Julie wearing tonight? Did we pay attention to Julie's outfit? What is she wearing? And then from there, they had to pick which door the real Julie was behind, run, grab the pass, hit the door, open it. If Julie's there, they win. If she's not, you're out. Chop. Done. You're done for the competition. I actually really like this competition. Like, oh, something new. So our group for that competition, I'm looking at my notes again because I have terrible ADHD and will forget. I can remember everybody's names. I can't remember who's in what comp because sometimes, whoop, outdoor. There we go. We had Zach, Adrian, Amy, Ava, Lauren, Riley, Vince, and Mickey. Now, some of them were trying hard to win. Riley and Mickey both were like, I am not winning this. Hell no, I'm throwing it. Riley's acting like he's never seen a puzzle in his life. He's like, what is this? A piece? Never seen it. Adrian, cooking. Zach, cooking. In fact, it was interesting. Adrian was looking at Zach's puzzle to figure it out and outpaced Zach. He figured it out faster than him and took off to the doors. Amy also finished before Zach because she got to the doors before him. Adrian starts from the bottom row, the doors 4 through 8, doors 1 through 3 on the top. Adrian starts listening at the bottom doors. Amy, when finishes her puzzle, she goes kind of like, oh, she doesn't remember what the hell to do. We'll get to Amy later because I got some things to say about that as well, and why she might not remember things. So Adrian's going through the bottom doors, listening to the clues. Zach finishes his puzzle. He runs to the doors. He sees Adrian's already got the whole bottom row. He's like, Adrian got the whole row on the bottom, and he's still listening. Clearly, none of that is right, so I'm taking it to the top. Now, could Adrian just have been listening to all of the doors to hear them before he picked one that he thought was right? Right. That's probably a reasonable thing to assume. Then those are all wrong. Maybe they were all wrong. So when Zach gets up there, Adrian also kind of gets up there, probably like right after him. Starts listening to the doors as well. And Zach's like, Adrian's pretty much got all of the doors. But I listened to all these doors, but he's gonna get this in a second. I'm just gonna run down. I'm gonna get the key pass for door 2. And I'm gonna do it. Worth a shot. Insane move. Insane move in my opinion. Because I would have assumed that Adrian, like what I would have done, I would have listened to all the doors first and then been like, okay, now I can figure out which one it was because I heard them all. I think he listened to maybe door 3 and he was like, you know what, Adrian covered them all. Clearly he didn't pick any of those, so it's not that. I'm just gonna go with the one he didn't listen to yet. And by a miracle, it actually worked. He was right. It was door 2. And actual Julie was there. Surprising. It was very weird. She's never actually been in the house. I was like, whoa. Interesting. A lot of people were like, wow, there wasn't a cardboard cutout of Julie. I would have loved to know what was behind the other doors. Was it like a cardboard cutout? Was it just an empty room and they were like, loser? Honestly, knowing Big Brother, it would have been a big ass sign that was like, dummy, loser. But he got it first shot. And it was actually Julie. So Zach won the first comp. Good for him. And now our second competition was to find the missing HOH relic. Ooh, no one can do the HOH competition or be HOH without it. Sure. So that group was the other 8. Again, yes, I'm looking at my notes. I already said half of them, but I'm still looking at my notes. And of course I put them separate from the comp notes are up here. And I put the names down there. Why? Because I'm not very smart. But that's fine. So our second comp players were Jimmy, Ashley, Keanu, Kelly, Isaiah, Will, Morgan, and Catherine. Well, this one I think was a little harder than the last one, than the puzzle and listening. Because I don't know how many of them actually looked at the relic before Julie pointed it out to them before the comps happened. Because I probably would not have. I'd have been like, oh, cool, a box. So they had to remember for about, it was like 40 different relics that were slightly different on the gems and the little key designs they had to memorize. And they just had to go around. There was a couple clues up, and then as the competition went on, more clues would be revealed about which would help them figure out which one was the real one. And if they said, okay, I have this one, I think it's real, they have to go up the stairs to the little slot, put it in. If they're right, ding ding ding, they win. If they're wrong, whoop, sent to hell through the trapdoor. So they were definitely moving a lot slower than obviously the other house guests who were trying to throw together a puzzle real fast. And they all those, let me tell you, those little relics look very similar. I know the first clue was red on top, purple on the bottom was the other one. They had to figure out the little key shapes. They're walking around for a bit. Kiana's like, I think it might be this one. I don't know. We'll try it. He goes up. Kelly and I believe Isaiah was behind her. Yeah, Isaiah was behind her, I believe. Waiting to for him to go. It's like, did he get it right? Puts it in. He's wrong. Plummets. And Kelly's like, never mind. I don't want to do this anymore. But she does go up. She's wrong as well. I do think this puzzle, it wasn't hard, but you have to be really good at paying attention to the details. Because if they were, I doubt they were looking at those relics before they got into this comp. But I think if they really paid attention, you would have done well. But even then, even if I was sitting there staring at this, I don't know how much time was in between. My memory, I'd have been like, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of them try. Most of them are wrong. Obviously, one by one, they all go up there. They fall through. At one point, Ashley and and Catherine's sitting at the bottom of the stairs, looking up at Morgan on there, and she's still in there. And they're like, "Oh, did she get it?" And then she just drops, and they're like, "Oh, nope, she didn't get it. She's wrong." So finally, it's just down to Jimmy and Ashley. They're walking around. I think another clue opened for them with, I believe that was for the key, one of the key positions, the little key symbols down on there, because there was the 4 gems and then the keys on each little slide. So there's 8 different things you had to pay specific detail to. Jimmy's finally like, I think I got it. Ashley's still kind of walking around looking. So Jimmy goes up to the little spot in the trapdoor, puts it in, ding ding ding, and he's right. So Jimmy wins the second comp. I'm like, okay. Good for him. I would have never done that. I think I would have just had to give up. Or I'd have walked around forever counting gemstones and been like, okay, this one has this has this. I would have. So good for him. He cleared it. I would have never. So Julie is safe and the HOH relic is secured. Now, before, on the phone call with Lauren, Julie said, if you find me... No, I'm wrong. Yes. The mastermind said, oh, if you could find Julie and you get this relic, I don't know, there might be something good for you in there. I think Julie might have said that as well. But you think I remember that? I haven't watched the show. I watched this episode twice. You think I remember that? But I didn't. So they're back in the house. Julie's been saved. She got both her heels back on. She's not walking sideways. Now she only has one heel on. And she's like, okay, guys, congratulations, Zach and Jimmy. You won the first 2 comps. You saved the day. You get a special reward. I'm like, oh, a reward? Now, I'm assuming, based on the history of the show, that they're going to get some ridiculous power. But on the other hand, I'm like, no, because it would have been a secret. So what are they giving them? Zach, no, I would, part of me would want to be Zach, part of me would not want to be Zach, because he gets $10,000 for finding Julie. On one hand, congrats, you get $10,000. On the other hand, what a target. What a target immediately puts in your back. It's so easy for somebody to be like, we could put Zach on the block. He just won 10 grand. He's good. I'd have been like, if I had won that, I'd have been like, can I not take this? Can I give it back? Can you donate it to like a charity? Because I don't want that. I don't want that target glued to my head already. It's night 1. We haven't even been here for a few hours. And you've already put a $10,000 target on my head. Now, Jimmy, on the other hand, vastly different prize. No money. No tangible thing. Since he saved the HOH relic, it's revealed by Julie that instead of all 16 of them competing for the HOH, only 4 of them get to compete. And who gets to pick the 4? Jimmy! Now, I was conflicted first. I was like, oh no. When they said that Jimmy got that power, because I was like, that might not be good, because you might piss somebody off. Who's going to be like, oh my god, I wanted to play HOH, and he didn't pick me to play an HOH. I can't believe this. But then Jimmy starts talking to everybody one-on-one, or like in smaller groups as well, about, hey, I want to talk to everybody, how are you feeling about playing HOH? Most people are like, no, not this time, not this week, no thank you. And Jimmy's like, oh, okay. So his options quickly drop. Most people are like, do not put me in this competition. I do not want to play HOH. A couple people do. Especially, most prominent to me when Jimmy is talking to Vince. And Jimmy tells Vince, oh, most people don't want to play. Vince is like, what? They don't want to play? They don't want to be the. What? And I honestly feel the same way. I know, I think a lot of them are remembering the past 4 seasons in the new era where the first HOH kind of crashed and burned. But if you go beyond that, for at least like 10 seasons, or a good while, being the first HOH was really good. When you're the first HOH, you set the tone for like the entire season. You set up the structure of how the house is laid out for the first, at least good part of the season, unless something really implodes on you. Everybody is pretty much coming up to you to make deals, to make alliances, because it's week 1. And the amount of things that people are going off to make nominations on week 1 is nothing. They're making nominations off of nothing. You could be sent home for just being people are like, you're kind of annoying. I'm just gonna vote you. I'm gonna put you up on the block. Especially with the BB Blockbuster now, he has to put up the HOH has to put up 3 people. So that's even more people at risk. So you would think you would want to be HOH because more people are giving deals to you. But they're like, oh, no. Even Catherine says in her diary room, oh, so many people are fake to the first HOH. I want people to be real to me. That doesn't mean anything. People can lie to you whether or not you're HOH. You could be on the block and people are going to lie to you. They're not going to be truthful and real. Half the alliances that are made on Big Brother are not real. Are BS. Like, the amount of people that make alliances, like, yeah, I got your back, and don't mean anything by it. The amount of people who make fake alliances just because you're all in the same room and are like, yeah, this is the alliance. You remember Big Brother 19? And Paul had an alliance with the entire house, pretty much? You think he was going to honor every one of those deals? Hell no. So, I think you should have they should have gone. I'm surprised more people were not pitching themselves to be in that first HOH competition. Even Ashley. Ashley was like, yeah, I want to play. She even said, I don't want to win. But at least she looks like she wants to. At least she's trying. Which I appreciate. At least try and go for it. This actually probably worked out pretty well for Jimmy. He was able to kind of be like, if I pick you and you win, I'm just saying, I better not be on the block. So I am pleasantly surprised that it actually worked out pretty well for him. I was nervous that it was going to be the opposite way, where a lot of people wanted to play, and people were going to be kind of mad that they didn't get picked. But it actually worked out really well for him. So Jimmy finally has to tell everybody who his picks are. Obviously, he puts himself in. Smart. As you should. As you should. Oh, why would I not want to play? He picks Vince, he picks Adrian, and he picks Ashley. Now, these 4, I'm swaying. Not because of Jimmy or Vince or Ashley. Adrian. Now, if you remember from Adrian's, I'm sure you remember, it was like 2 days ago, Adrian's pre-season interviews. The amount of people that saw or read his interview and were like, this man is going to crash out so hard. He is super fan excited to the max. He is going to go so hard, so fast, and crash and burn. I personally was very nervous about that. So when I saw he was playing for HOH, I was like, oh no. Please don't win this. Because I do like Adrian. I always root for super fans. But I love when people are genuinely excited and passionate about the game. Versus people, because they have people who are house guests and they're just kind of like, I'm here. You're on Big Brother. At least pretend to care. At least put some effort in, At least try. Adrian is so committed to this damn show. Wall Comp Wednesdays? Hello, his intro package? I can't believe that wall moves. I know he's talking about it in his interviews about how he built his own wall comp. But I wasn't expecting it to actually be able to tilt. And then they had the water spraying. I'm like, that's commitment. Nothing says I love this show more than willingly spending every Wednesday on a wall being hosed down. I was just nervous that he was going to get that power and just be so excited. I'm on Big Brother. I'm the first HOH. Oh my god. And just go down. So when he's picked, I'm like, oh god, oh no. Because obviously I knew he was going to want to play first HOH. Because that's what he said in his interview. He said he wanted to make it at least for the comp, at least to like that third position. And from there, depending on who the other people were, decide if he wanted to win or not. Crazy. I'm like, okay. So they get to the HOH competition, and it is the balancing comp from reindeer games. They are, what is the exact word? You think I remember? The BB blasters. Thank you. And they have the cores for the BB blasters to balance it on. They have to make sure all 3 poles are balanced completely even. Run, hit their little plunger, and wait 10 seconds to see if anything falls off. If it stays perfectly balanced and good, 10 seconds, HOH. If not, run it back. I actually really like this comp, and I'm glad they did this well. Another equitable comp. No running a marathon, crazy physical shit that nobody can do unless you're like a triathlete. So I'm like, 3 for 3 equitable comps for Big Brother is incredible. I'm like, a miracle. CBS, thank you. For once. So the fact that they were able to do so many equitable comps in one night, I'm like, thank you. I'm just so happy about that. And I enjoyed this balancing puzzle, because I would know I would be terrible at it. The strat to it, I still don't know if it's better to put things at the end, put things in the middle, how you want to set things up, because they had 6 cores, different sizes, to set up on the 3. I guess technically 6, but 3 really beams, little metal poles, and they all were trying, because they're very finicky, as you could tell. And watching this, it was really hard to say, because everybody was kind of would get really far into it, and then one thing would move, and it was just there was one point when Ashley's went where it was like one side, then this side, then this side, and she's like trying to follow them, and I'm like, Ashley, just let him go. Just let him go. I don't think you could try. I don't know if you're trying to catch them or just watch them, but she literally just goes, and I'm like, it's okay. Just let him fall and then start back over. Vince is actually cooking a little bit. He figures out, to start, like, just start him wide and just slowly inch him. Or I think it was inching him out, actually. So he's getting there. Adrian's getting pretty close to his all drop as Vince is starting to finish up with his. Vince runs for his plunger. Baba. And they're all just looking. Is it gonna fall? Timer's clicking down. They're in the mastermind lair. Oh my god. Is it gonna happen? He does it. It works. That's right, everybody. Our first HOH of the season. Vince, I am actually interested to see how his HOH is going to be. Because he, preseason, was like, I just want to take it week by week. He wasn't, a lot of people were saying, I want to lay low. I don't want anybody to know who I want to be hidden. Don't look at me. But he was like, we'll see how it goes. 1 week at a time. Which I think is smart. A lot of people on Big Brother tend to go too far ahead. Like, they're on week 3 and they're thinking about week 7. Who are we going to send out then? I'm like, you need to worry about who you're putting out this week. Relax. So I am very interested to see how the HOH reign goes. If only we had feeds to see it. But anyways. So Vince is our new HOH. And now they have to get out of the mastermind's lair that they're in, where they set up their BB blasters and all the cores, because it's going to blow up. And then I couldn't believe the shot. CBS, incredible. Big Brother, I love Big Brother so much. Sometimes it's a little campy, a little corny. I was expecting a very bad, just a shot of this comp set. Just a bad, CGI fire. No. They said, we're going to do one better. Hello, Survivor editing team? Do you guys have a drone shot of Fiji? Can we borrow that? Thanks. Boom. Blew up Fiji. I'm like, oh. They said, We're definitely not in a parking lot in Los Angeles. We're in Fiji. Is the mastermind Jeff Probst? Is it Survivor? Are they there? Is it Survivor 50? So they blow up Fiji. And they make it out. They're like, yay! We blew up the mastermind's lair. So Julie comes back. She's like, you guys, we did it. Woo! But of course, she tells Vince, congrats to your HOH. But guess what? Remember AI Arena from last season? She's back, baby, as I mentioned before. The BB Blockbuster. And she says, remember the twist from last year? It's now a permanent addition to the season. So they didn't explain beyond that. So I remember, because last season it wasn't initially supposed to be as long as it was. It lasted the entire pre-jury last time. It was supposed to be the first 3 weeks. So this time when they say permanent, I don't know if they mean if it's going to extend past jury. I mean, into jury, or if it's just going to be like how they did last season with the 7 weeks of pre-jury and then once jury hits, it's done, or are they going to take it as far as they can until they don't have enough people to do the comp, which would be, I believe, Final 5 would be Final 5 would be the last time they could do it, because obviously if you couldn't do it at Final 4, if you put everybody on the block, they wouldn't be able to take themselves out. You couldn't do a veto. So it would have to be Final 5, but I don't think they would take it that far. But, CBS, they don't give us answers, so we don't know. We just know it's a permanent addition, so I assume from now until whenever they feel like stopping it, we're going to have the BB Blockbuster. Which is fine. I liked it. It is a little bit of a bummer that we're not going to get the live HOHs on Thursdays, but that's fine. It was very interesting. I really enjoyed it last season, because when you watch Big Brother with the feeds, if you're a feedster, or even if you're just checking the updates, you don't watch the actual feeds themselves, by the time it's like Tuesday, they usually know what they're gonna do. So it's kind of like, alright, they're gonna vote them out. The plan doesn't always change, it usually doesn't. So for there to actually be something interesting, we don't know. I love not knowing. Even if it's stressful, and you're like, oh god, how is this plan gonna work? How are they gonna pull this off? If this is gonna happen, this circumstance has to happen. I do like the unknown a little bit there with that. Especially since as a feature, you know everything that's already happening, so when you watch Sunday and Wednesday, you're like, I already know. I know who wins veto, I know how the ceremony goes, I know who the noms are. So Thursday is like the only little thing where we're like, we don't know. And that's typically with the live HOH, because we usually know who's getting voted out, unless there's a double. Because then the whole thing is a brand new mystery. So I do like that I keep wanting to say AI Arena, the BB Blockbuster does add a little bit extra of like what could happen. Oh my god. First time watching the show, guys. Expect the unexpected. I like that it adds a little bit of something there. As we saw, last season, that cast was also crazy, so they were very switching up. Hopefully they bring that energy this season. Which I think they will. So I am kind of glad it's back. It was a very good twist. And I'm glad that they actually recognize it as a fan favorite versus other twists they've had in the past that they insist are a fan favorite and they aren't. I don't know why I don't care. It's been years. I don't know why they thought Battle of the Block was a fan favorite. Who wanted that back? Name one person that was like, oh my god, I love Battle of the Block. I can't believe they brought it back for another season. Nobody moved. Because I certainly was like, even then, I was like a 15, 16-year-old during those seasons. Even I was like, they brought it back? For what? But I'm glad they brought this back, because it is a fun addition. Even though it does suck, no live HOHs. But even then, even before they were doing that, they were barely even doing live HOH. They would be like, alright, see you next Sunday, and watch them do this true or false comp. And I'm like, great, you could have did that today. But that's fine. I'll take, at least we're getting something. With Big Brother, you get crumbs, and you're like, thank you. So they were like, oh, yeah. So we have our comp back. We have our 3 nominees that are going to be coming up on Sunday. I'm assuming they're doing them Sunday. I don't know. With the twist that I'm about to talk about, it could be Sunday. It could be, hopefully not, Wednesday. Because Wednesdays are now an hour and a half, so they better not wait till Wednesday for the noms. We'll know who they are when the feeds come on. So, anyways, Julie is talking to them. Julie's gone. Here comes the static. And who's there? Darth Maul. He's back. The mastermind is back. And he's like, oh, you guys thought you were all that in a bag of chips, huh? Oh, you saved Julie? Oh, you got the relic back? That's cute. Okay, so the season's gonna go on. Okay. I'm not done yet. You thought I was done? Crazy. I have more chaos to bring into this house. What's that? Oh yeah, that's the sound of your new roommate. And they're like, what? The panic. They're like, what do you mean? And he goes away. Upstairs. A painting of a red-haired woman holding a key. The wall opens. Back, someone said, in all red. Red hair, red outfit comes out. They're downstairs looking around like someone's gonna come from the ceiling. And they're like, the stairs, go to the stairs. They start getting up to go. They're like, it's a woman, I see heels. Here she is. My mother, Rachel Riley. And they're gagged, as they should be, because it's Rachel Riley. That's right, y'all. Rachel Riley. She's here. My favorite thing about the entire Rachel Riley segment is not her even coming the stairs like, I'm here, floaters, you better get your life best. The queen of reality TV is here. It's Lauren. Lauren in her diary room like, man, I think I kind of blew my cover. I didn't want to tell anybody that I was a super fan, and I think I blew my cover. Go watch the clip of when Rachel comes in. Lauren, I don't know if anybody noticed. I noticed. She blew her cover. She was jumping so high, she was almost going to hit the ceiling. She is jumping up and down, screaming, waving her arms like she just won, like on The Price is Right. Screaming, because Rachel Riley is there. I mean, I also would be screaming, to be fair. But I'm like, I think they might have figured you out, girly. I don't think you keep it a secret when you about shit your pants when Rachel Riley walked in. I mean, to be fair, she has been on enough shows, you could probably cover that. You could be like, oh, I saw her on Amazing Race. She was on there 3 times. I saw her on The Traitors. She was on there season 1. So she could always be like, oh, I love her from this other show, not Big Brother. But I think Lauren might think that her info was out. She's been caught. By who? I don't know. But I just thought that was so funny. That she was like, I think my cover's blown. Meanwhile, she's like this. Jumping up and down like, ah. I'm like, yeah, girl, I think they caught you. I think they figured it out. Everybody's like, Rachel. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Half these people probably don't even know who Rachel Riley is. These recruits, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Rachel. Right. Sure. And Rachel Riley's like, I'm here to stay. I'm like, yes. But we're not done yet. I thought we were going to be done. Let me tell you. Actually seeing Rachel Riley, I'm shocked. I was shocked. Well, I was feeling a lot of things. I was very emotional, surprisingly. That night after the episode, I literally was like lying in bed, tearing up. I'm like, oh my god, Rachel Riley's here. I teared up watching the episode today. When I saw Rachel Riley again. I was like, oh my god. Rachel Riley is here. I feel at peace. I get to watch Rachel Riley on the feeds whenever they're on. But I was amazed that we even got to see the reveal, because I'm thinking, wait a minute. They weren't turning the feeds on until after the Sunday episode when it airs on the West Coast. So I'm thinking, okay, the Rachel Riley reveal is going to be the cliffhanger. We're not going to see her till Sunday, which is why the feeds are off. Because they've been, teasing all week with some clues that they didn't think that we all figured out. We knew it was Rachel Riley. Some people I saw were like, no, I think it's this other person. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Every clue is Rachel Riley. So when we actually see Rachel, I'm like, oh, There's still 10 minutes of this episode. What else is there? And my question is very quickly answered. Because here comes the mastermind. He's back. He's back on the TV screen. And he's like, that's right. Rachel Riley's here. She's here to stay. But she's not the 17th house guest. And everyone's like, huh? And Rachel Riley's like, oh, what? And he's like, that's right. She's the 16th house guest. Because one of you is not a house guest. One of you is my evil secret accomplice. And I'm like, huh? He's like, that's right. One of you, 16, sitting on that couch there. Help me turn off the lights. Help me steal the relic. Help me kidnap Julie. Unleashed Rachel into this house. And I'm like, what? Okay, Saboteur? Saboteur Twist is back? So now, the house guests are like, what the fuck? What do you mean? They're all looking at each other like, what? Have you ever seen that clip from The Office where they're all like this? That's pretty much how they're all looking at each other like, what? So the mastermind is like, listen, if you can figure out who my little accomplice is, and you vote correctly, boop, bye. They're booted immediately. If you don't, they get to stay, and they are the 17th house guest. So it's pretty much figure out, if you want to play with one less person, you better figure out who this is. And they're shocked. Mastermind's like, bye, good luck. And now they're all looking at each other like, they all just met each other, by the way. It's been like 2 hours, probably. A couple of hours since they've been in this house together. And they had to figure out who's been lying to them this entire time. And they, first of all, they know it's not Rachel. Jimmy is like, looking at Rachel like, interesting. Mind you, Jimmy, when Rachel was brought in, mind you, he's like, everybody's so excited. Are you kidding me? We have to get Rachel Riley out of this house. She's she's Rachel Riley. And Jimmy, I don't know how well you think that's gonna work right away. The amount of times on returning seasons where newbies have been like, we need to get this returnee out of the house right now, and it goes very bad for them. Pretty high. So Jimmy, and he's pointing fingers at Rachel Riley being like, are you the accomplice? I don't know if that was the move. So I'll get back to Jimmy in a minute. I'll talk about that after. But now they have to figure out who his accomplice is. Now we don't know, and that's why the feeds are off, so that if the vote actually was correct, and they booted the mastermind little accomplice here, we wouldn't see who that was, because obviously if the feeds were on, we'd know who the accomplice is. We'd be like, oh, okay, Mickey's gone. I guess she was the accomplice. I personally am hoping they don't catch who it is, and honestly, I don't know how they would. I don't know what evidence they think they'll be able to find. I don't know how much time they're given. They didn't really specify how long they have before this vote. Because this is the very end of the episode. I don't know if this was, like, they had days to figure this out, if they had a couple of hours. Because at some point, Vince would have to do nominations, and today is the veto competition. They usually do it on Saturdays. So I don't know if they only had a couple of hours to figure things out. We were able to notice some things when people were going back to the episode. But I don't know how they would have known that somebody was doing something without them seeing it. So the odds of them actually catching who this is, I think, are pretty low. So I think there's going to be 7 people. I would be extremely surprised if they're able to figure it out. If they're able to be like, I know for sure who this mastermind is. And I don't think they're going to tell them, obviously, because they would just probably vote that person out normally. After if they did a vote and they're like, oh, we voted for Kelly. And Kelly is not the HOH. Not the HOH. not the accomplice. They'd be like, they're not going to be like, oh, you got it wrong. It was actually Will. They would just be like, okay, we're going to vote out Will now. What the fuck? So I assume they're gonna keep it a secret. I'm sure they'll tell us, the viewers, but they're not gonna tell them. I'm sure that's gonna be a big old reveal at the finale, like who was the mastermind. And they love a reveal for the exit interviews for pre-jury. They did it with Suri and Suri and Jared for 25. They were like, guess who's related? Can you guess who is related? Suri and Jared. Woo. So I'm sure they'll keep bringing that up. Another thing they also did not mention about this accomplice is if it's just for the premiere night. Because, they've done this twist before, ironically enough, on Rachel Riley's for season 12. But the saboteur twist didn't really last. Because Annie was the first boot. Annie the saboteur was the first one voted out. So, I don't know how that would have played out, how long it would have lasted. Would it have been all season? Would it have been a few weeks? Would it have been pre-jury up until a certain point? I don't know. And they didn't really give us a lot of info on the premiere. If this is going to be, for like because the pre-jury is now longer. It was, just the first 5 weeks since we had a jury of 9. Since we went back to the jury of 7, pre-jury is now 7 weeks. So I could see them having the saboteur twist longer. I don't know who the saboteur is, obviously. If they're voted out early, that's gonna kill it then. So, assuming the saboteur makes it... I keep saying saboteur. The accomplice makes a deeper run in the game. I wonder if there's gonna be a point where they're just like, alright, cut it off. You're good, you're free. Or if it maybe was just for this first episode, I don't know. I'm sure they're not gonna just have that I can't speak today. The masked mastermind. I don't think they're gonna be there just for one night. I don't think that CBS will put the budget in for one night. I'm sure it's gonna be like Ainsley constantly popping up. So I assume that accomplice is gonna last a little longer than the first night. So they're not gonna tell them. I will say, if I was in that house and they voted me who they thought the accomplice was and I wasn't, I'd be like, are you kidding me? I don't think I'd be very happy about that. I'd be like, oh, okay. Thanks, guys. You thought I was a liar? I'd be really pissed. Would that detriment someone's game? Well, they would say, like... I'm sure they would tell them, you're wrong. Kelly's not the accomplice. But would that affect your game if people vote you the accomplice and you're not? Or would people be like, oh, we think she's kind of sneaky and a liar? I wouldn't be working with people who voted for me. I'd be kind of like, you clearly don't think very highly of me. You don't trust me. If you're thinking I'm the accomplice that's been messing things up all night. I wonder how that would affect the other houseguest perception of them. They probably would. I'm sure some people would feel bad that they voted for this person, thinking they were the accomplice and they're not. I'm sure people who I assume it's not going to be a unanimous vote. I'd be very surprised to get 70 people to agree on this. Obviously, because one of them is the accomplice, they're not going to vote for themselves. So I wonder how that is going to affect the dynamic. If that would affect the dynamic with that person, with the others. That is very interesting. I wish we could get a little more information on this. Almost as if we had feeds. If only we had feeds. But we don't. Yet. I'm just trying to... I keep thinking about this. How this would work with the accomplice. And the person who's not it. And how... I can't talk. Okay. I wonder... Would you formalize somebody that you voted to be the accomplice and they weren't, out of guilt? You're like, I feel bad. I just fucking tarnished this person's name in the house for no reason. I just rallied the troops against them and they were not the accomplice. Would you feel bad and be like, I will make a deal with you. I'm so sorry. That could work out, I guess, in somebody's favor. But I don't know if I would love knowing that people immediately thought I was not trustworthy. I feel like I'd be like, what the hell? Great, thanks, guys. I feel like I'll work with the people who didn't vote for me. I'd be like, thank you for not looking at me and being like, here's us. You did something. Now, in terms of who the accomplice actually is, I've seen a couple theories. There's been a couple theories. And a lot of people were thinking Morgan, because we weren't getting a lot from her intro packages in the episode. She pretty much just keeps talking about being a gamer girl. Like, we're not getting a lot of her personality, just the gaming, which I get. That's her career, being a Twitch streamer. She's signed to like a esports organization as well as one of their content creators. I forget the actual organization name. So I get it's a big part of like your hobbies, interests, your job. They just aren't showing. I don't know if it's her or if it's production telling her. Production loves to be like, this is your archetype and this is how you will be this archetype. So people are thinking it was her because we're not getting a lot from her. It's very superficial right now. And a lot of people were thinking Amy. Honestly, I'm starting to think Amy because we're getting some evidence coming out from rewatching the episodes. There's a clip, and once the power goes out in the house, and there's a shot of Amy. She's kind of sitting back, and you see her arm go kind of like that. It's hard to see in the original video I saw. Someone like kind of recorded their screen, but somebody went and actually recorded like a screen video of the episode, and you can see much better how her arm comes out like this. And in the premiere, she's wearing a little jean skirt. During the competition, the first comp to save Julie, she's standing there, and in her pocket, you could see a little lump in her pocket, and it's like, what's that? It's not your mic because that mic's attached to your back. So people are thinking it's some kind of controller that she used, obviously not to turn off the lights because that was probably production, but to click the little HOH relic out and hide it. So it could be Amy, which I think if it was Amy, that probably is a good choice. I don't think anybody would suspect Amy. She's one of the older, she's the second oldest house guest. She's a mom. People are going to probably think it'd be somebody more, for lack of better words, strategic, sneaky. Amy just kind of like was walking around like, oh my god, wow, oh my god, wow, look at the house, wow. People are like, she's just excited. She's a mom. Like, wow, look at this interior decorating. I don't think people are looking at her and thinking like, oh, she's going to be like a strategic mastermind, which I don't judge people. She could be. You never know. Not that she's seen much of the show, according to her interviews. Which is also why I think she'd be a good pick as well for that. And I am starting to lean towards that as well. I don't know how they decide who the accomplice is. I don't know if obviously they couldn't ask people. I assume it probably more recruitment versus somebody who actually applied. I don't see them asking like Adrian, like who applied, like, hey, you could be on if you're the mastermind's accomplice. Because I think if I was obviously I am a super fan, but if I was applying, I'd be like, I guess. I feel like they would want to recruit somebody for that. To be like, hey, you could be on the show, you're going to be this, like, accomplice. You might last a little bit. You might not. They might vote you out immediately. Because I think that would suck for a super fan if you could be voted out, like, sent out the door immediately. I would be like, oh, I want to do that. I think that's probably what they would go for, somebody who they recruited. Because they wouldn't have as much of an attachment to the show. Even though the casting process is a very long process. They have to go through a lot of testing and interviews and things like that. So I think they would probably lean more towards somebody they had recruited for this. If I was them looking at each other, I don't think Amy would be my first pick. So I think with the evidence we've seen, it could be Amy. We could be wrong. We could be totally wrong. I'm sure we'll find out on Sunday. I'm assuming they'll tell us, even if they don't find out who the mastermind's accomplice is. I'm sure they'll show it on the show. Like, in the diary room, like, I'm the accomplice. It's me. We'll see. They better. Because I want to know. I'm very nosy and I want to know who it is. I am curious about how the voting is. Is it going to, like, how they are in the diary room where they have to go in and vote? I would assume. So we'll have to get the voting process as well on Sunday. I am just curious how this works out. Somebody also pointed out, was it Taryn on the RHGP recap of this? I don't recall. It might have been. Where they were like, what do you get for being the accomplice? Are they getting, like, money? Are they getting, like, a reward? Because typically, I don't remember if there was a reward for Annie as a saboteur. I honestly don't recall. BB told was a hot minute ago since I've seen it. But I know, like, they've done things in the past, like Team America, where they were getting money for that. Just last season, Tucker, AI instigator, he got some money. He got a lot of money for that. That was a vote, but he got a lot of money for that. So I wonder if there was some kind of like money, like if you can make it like this far without being detected, we'll give you $5,000, $10,000. I mean, Zach got 10 grand, so they could give the accomplice 10 grand. That's just my opinion. I'd be like, listen, if I was the accomplice and Zach got 10 grand, I'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where's my 10 grand for setting this whole thing up? That's just me. Who knows? But I am curious to see how this plays out. I really hope they don't get caught. I really like this cast, and I don't want obviously somebody's going to leave when they're voted out. But I'd rather them actually be voted out and have to do the competitions, the veto, the vote, the BB Blockbuster, than just being like, you caught me, guys. I keep wanting to say saboteur, the accomplice. I'm the accomplice. Bye. That'd be kind of lame. I want to see them make it far. I want to see the cast play as it is. And plus, if they don't figure out who it is, that's always going to be in the back of their minds. Like, is this person the accomplice from week 1? Assuming, depending on how long this plays out as well. But I am very interested about this. And we know it's not Rachel. So Rachel's not going to be walking out the doors immediately as well. So I'm happy about that. So overall, I'm very excited. I really, really wish we had gotten that like Wednesday, Thursday back. If they were going to do like a 2-night premiere thing and keep the feeds off, I really wish we had gotten that back to back. Because waiting from Thursday until Sunday night is kind of killing me. I really want to know. I really want to watch more. I want the feeds. They moved in on Tuesday. Today's Saturday. It's day 5 day 5. Do you know what happened on day 5? We're missing so much. Day 5 last season was Angela's crazy eyes speech at the top of the stairs yelling at Matt. If we're missing something that good, I'm gonna be a little mad. If we miss a good thing on the feeds, I'm gonna be pissed. And we're already missing 5 days of Rachel Riley on the feeds. And I'm not happy about that. I want to see Rachel Riley on the feeds so bad. That's the thing I'm so excited about the most, partially, is Rachel Riley on the feeds. Finally actually being able to live a Big Brother season with not just episodes, but actual feeds with Rachel Riley. So hopefully they turn these on soon. I know it's not till Sunday night, but I don't care. I want them now. Someone hack into the CBS mainframe and be like, feeds are up. Please. Okay, I know. Don't do that. You'll probably go to jail. Don't do that. But yeah, I am very, very excited for this Big Brother season. I'm glad that we have a good theme. We have some good twists going on. When we were expecting the Rachel Riley reveal, I was not expecting the accomplice twist. I actually really like that. I think that's really fun. So I am optimistic about the season. I think we're set in for a really good season. Fingers crossed. I don't see this cast becoming a cult of Rachel Riley. I'm hoping she doesn't go soon, though. Keep her to the end. I mean, don't keep her to the end. Obviously, if you're a newbie, that'd be very dumb if you brought Rachel Riley to the end. I'd be like, you deserve to lose. What's wrong with you? But I don't think they'll make this mistake because a lot of people talked about that on their preseason interviews. The Chelsea and Mackenzie of it all from the finale last year. Multiple people mentioned that as a big moment. They're like, what an idiot. Why would Mackenzie take Chelsea? Stupid. So I think a lot of them are going to make at least some smarter moves than that. So I am optimistic and very excited for some good old strategy, big brain moves from this cast. So I can't wait. I'm very excited. I just wish we had more. I wish I had more to talk about because we only have the little stuff in the premiere breakout, the hour-and-a-half premiere. And Sunday's episode is an hour and a half as well. And now all the Wednesday episodes are an hour and a half. And we get the additional now every other week, the Friday episodes, which they have not said much about as well. I noticed. They did not mention that in the premiere at all. They didn't mention the Friday episodes. I know the first one isn't going to be, I believe the schedule they had posted ahead of time, like online, was like the 25th was that first Friday episode, so in like 2 weeks, or a week and a half. So it's going to be a while. I'm sure they'll probably address it sometime next week, maybe during the first live eviction episode. They'll probably bring it up then. They have not said who is going to be on that panel. The attorneys. I wonder if it's going to be Cody, Taylor, and Jag like they did for that special episode last year. I'm assuming their tester episode. We don't know. We don't know who it could be. I'd be fine with that. I mean, I'm here for anything Taylor Hill. Taylor Hill, absolutely. Jag, fine. Cody, well, I could do without Cody, honestly. I could do without Cody. I wonder, because they haven't really given us a lot of details. I know they mentioned interviews and recaps and never before seen clips and strategic discussions, things like that. Not a lot of info. I would love to know more about those Friday episodes. I'm just glad we're getting a little extra Big Brother. It's fine with me. As if we don't have enough to do for the next 80-something days. Actually, not even 80-something days, because the feeds are off. They already said, for those, if you hadn't seen it, Mike Bloom and Sharon Tharp both posted this. The finale is going to be September 28th, Sunday. So that puts the season at 83 days, which I think is a perfect amount. You don't want it to be too short. That's so lame. But don't make it short. But we don't need it 100. BB25 was rough. 100 days was brutal. Poor Sari was like, get me out of this house, please. So I think the 80-something range is good. 83 is great. Even though by the time the feeds come on, we're already going to be like, what? Someone said 6% of the way through. So, great, thanks. We'll be back. I think the feeds are coming on the end of day 6. Day 6. For my time to be like the beginning of day 7. Like, kind of like, yeah. Like around that time. That's not how that works. You know what I mean. But 83 days is good. 83 days is a good length. Not too long, not too short. Perfect amount. 80s, great. So I am very excited to see how the season plays out. I just want more. I'm already wanting more. It's killing me that we don't have feeds or nothing else to talk about besides the premiere. I know we always rag on the live move-ins. We're like, oh, this episode, the live move-in, the premiere is so lame. This is so boring. This is so stupid. But at least we got night one feeds. I can't diss it for that. I would take 1 million live move-ins if it means we got night one feeds every time. I would take it. I'd be like, sure. Why not? I'm just so not happy about getting the feeds so late. But I think everybody's probably beat that dead horse. I probably said it about 55 times this video. Oh my god. You see what's happening to me? I'm going through drought already. I'm going crazy. I don't have my Big Brother content. Give it to me now. But yeah, I am so excited about the season. I'm very excited to cover this here on my new little channel. Woo. Yeah. I don't have much else to say about the premiere. I do want to keep making videos on Big Brother as the season goes on. I'm not sure. Actually, let me switch. Bycast. I'm not sure how often I do work. Unfortunately, I do have a job. Unfortunately, I do have to make money. So I work 8:30 to 5. That kind of blows. I don't have a lot of time, sadly, at night. So I may be probably once or twice a week, depending on how much time I have. I may sometimes do, an episode for maybe I'll do a video for just Sunday, and then I'll do a video for maybe Wednesday, Thursday, or I might, depending on how much time I have that week, just combine them into all 3. We'll see. Also depends how much is going on that week. Sometimes there's slower weeks, there's not really much happening. But if it's a really crazy week, maybe I'll do a little extra. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of slow weeks, it's fine. If we get another week like Janky World, and the feeds are just everybody laying in the heat, eating ice cream and having to dance, don't expect a ton of coverage, unfortunately. I'll do the episode. Obviously, I'm not going to do... If you want live updates, go watch Taryn. But we'll see. At least once or twice a week, we'll be doing the Big Brother videos for the episodes. And actually, probably will be twice a week with the Friday episodes as well. We'll see. I'm going to watch the first one and see how it is. If it's important to cover, it probably won't be, depending on what they include in it. If we had more details on it, that would be lovely. We don't. So we'll see. If I need to cover that. I don't know how everybody else is going to do, and we don't really know what's going to be on them yet. But we'll take it episode at a time. I could always combine it with like the Sunday episode and be like, this is what was going on. But other than that, that's kind of all I have to say about Big Brother for now. I could say it a billion times, I'm so excited, so happy. This cast is great. I love the house. I love the theming. I love a little mystery. So that's fun. We get to figure out who the accomplice is. And we get Rachel Riley feeds. I could mention that a million times. We're getting Rachel Riley feeds. I could run a lap around this house and yell that. I'm that excited. I've almost cried twice. I think I already mentioned that. How I teared up thinking about it 2 times already. I'm that excited. But yeah, I am ready to go for Big Brother. Give it to me now. And beyond Big Brother, just to kind of talk about the general, I guess, channel itself, because this is technically, not technically, it is the first video on this little whole channel here, because I was supposed to film a video for the cast, and I didn't, because I am not good at time management sometimes. But regardless, we do have shows coming up I want to cover as well. Everything on this channel, I'm going to just say right now, is not going to be all reality TV. For now, it will be, because Big Brother is a very busy time, and there's going to be a lot of Big Brother stuff happening. But that's probably more in the future. But for now, a lot of Big Brother, and then we have some shows coming up that I want to cover. First one, premiering at the end of this month, I believe it's the 30th, yes. The Challenge 41. Now, do I watch the challenge? No. But you put America Lopez, my queen, on anything, I'm seated. So I will be, I watched the Golden Bachelor, for her podcast. I've never seen The Bachelor in my life. I don't really watch straight people dating shows that much, honestly. I'm not committed to straight people dating shows. Gay ones, yeah. Check out the Ultimate Queer Love if you haven't. Both seasons. Season 2 was crazy. But yeah, I don't really watch too many shows like that. I did watch Golden Bachelor purely for America, so I will be watching the challenge for America. Blue and Cedric are also on there as well. I do like them. I do know a couple people from the challenge world, from other shows. CT, Johnny Bananas. I know of people from other things. Oh, D is on there as well. I forgot about D. D is there too. I like D. So I'm there. I'll watch the Challenge 41 for that. And then beyond that, I mean, obviously that's a lot earlier. Once we get to near the end of Big Brother season, they finally gave us a date for these during the premiere, by the way. One in a trailer during the commercial break, and then one they just settle on. They're like, I hear ya. Survivor 49, September 24th. No, I did not look at my notes for that. I actually knew that up here. September 24th, the Wednesday before the finale of Big Brother, we get Survivor 49, and I will be covering that. Very excited for that. And then, finally, right after that, actually, literally the next day, The Amazing Race 38, our all Big Brother season. Now, I'm very excited for this. I know when they filmed this earlier in the year, there were a lot of spoilers. I saw none of them. I put in work to dodge all of those. The moment I saw people, when they were just starting to set out, they were like at the airport, there was like a whole bunch of people like taking pictures, and there's people like following them around the legs. I was like, oh no, I can't, I'm gonna get spoiled for everything. I muted it so much that I didn't realize they announced the date for it on Thursday until I like saw like on like Instagram. I was like, wait, what? I had to go on mute and everything. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm very excited. I'm blanking on some of the teams. I'm very excited for one team in particular. There's a lot of good people on this season, I will say. I am rooting so hard for Izzy and Paige. It's crazy. I don't even want to know. Don't say anything to me. No spoilers. I don't want to know. Don't tell me anything. No, thank you. But just know we're going Team Izzy and Paige. To the end, baby. Get that million. Let's go. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be coming up. Obviously, as time goes on, we'll add more things. There's a couple of, scripted shows I want to cover once things come out. Maybe some movies here and there, and things beyond TV. I do like other things that aren't TV shows. But for those, these are more, I'm going to do these more like, long form edited, just because I like to yap about shows. But I do want to work on actual, like, edited videos. But that I can't do until after Big Brother, because one, I don't know how to edit videos. That's a big hurdle. Two, I'm not gonna have time to do that with Big Brother. When Big Brother is on, there's no time for anything else. Any other hobbies, push that to the side. Anything that is time consuming with Big Brother, I don't have time for that. Big Brother is on. I have to watch these feeds. I have to be online looking at posts. What is everybody thinking? I'm going through the tag. So, once Big Brother's over and I have time to actually do things, we'll go from there. But for now, a lot of Big Brother. I'm gonna hit the challenge. And Survivor 49, The Amazing Race. And beyond there, Survivor 50. Woo! That's after the winter though, so we got time for that. But for now, I guess that's it. That's kind of all I got to say. I will do a video for Sunday's episode. Can't wait for that. It's weird not having too much to talk about for Big Brother. Because usually at this point you have the feeds. And you're like, yay, feeds! There's so many things happening on the feeds. We have nothing. But we have crumbs. Nothing. So for now, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, whoever's watching this. Thanks so much. If you want to subscribe, go nuts. You can like it. Leave in the comments. I don't know who you're rooting for. Who do you think's the accomplice? How do you think it's gonna go this season? Do you think we're getting long-term accomplice, short-term? How do you think it's gonna go with the BB blockbuster back again? How do you think it's gonna go with Rachel Riley? We getting the cult 2.0? I don't know. Just let me know your thoughts. Honestly, you can also just give me some feedback. What do you think? This is kind of, I don't know what this is. Graphic design is not my passion, as you could tell, so we kind of just threw things together. But yeah, I am proud of my little, nope, wrong side. Yep, my little logo. She's cute. Yeah. So yeah, leave a comment about Big Brother, about if you think my logo sucks. Go ahead, be like, boo, you lame. Don't do that. Actually, don't do that. I'm just gonna live in delusion that it's good. But yeah, we'll be back to talk about more Big Brother once the Sunday episode drops and we actually get feeds. I can't wait for that. But yeah, I will see you guys when Big Brother is back on Sunday. Probably not. I'm not on Sunday, but you know what I mean. Alright, that's all for today. I'm Jess, and I'm spending my day indoors. I'm not going outside till Big Brother's over. And even then, we'll think about it. That's all for today. Bye!